Hey guys, Race Car Driver here. Just want to do a little update. This is Bumble, the car hauler, and see him up there. There he is, little Bumble. Got most of the dovetail done, but I don't like the way that top of that bed does. You see that black line? That is the same angle as the dovetail. So when you look at it from a distance, I can't get far enough back because I got it up in the shop. It looks like it was done. It looks like the bed was first and then the dovetail was added, and I don't really like that. It kind of bothers me. I got that CDO, worse than OCD. It's got to be in order. The letters have to be in order. So I decided to cut that at the same angle, and got my little angle finder out and match the same angle as the back. And I've already cut this other side, started welding it back together. Got a little cleanup to do, but anyway, I just want you to see the difference. You can see that that's the same angle on this side. It matches the angle of the dovetail and just makes it more streamlined, makes it look less after the fact added on. So that's what I'm working on today. It's raining, so I can't do any glass work. Or I could, but I don't. I prefer not to, and I've postponed most of my customers till the rain clears out. So anyway, I cut that piece off. Here's the piece I cut off. Tell you what, I don't know what this bed weighs, but it's all out of heavy stuff. If I can get you a picture of that. That's the piece I cut off. That wedge off of it. And I put a piece of, I think this is 1/4 inch flat bar, welded on the top of there to cap it off. Finishing up some welding. It's got some holes. I kind of rusted in here, hole right there. I thought I could weld that in, but it's thin right there, so I'm gonna have to put something behind it so I can weld that in. But anyway, let's see if I can get a far enough picture back. Well, hard to do with it up in the shop. I may have to pull it out. I may pull it out so you can see that a little better. But anyway, working on a little bit. I had to modify the ramps. My little connector sleeve. Had to modify that a little bit, and when I saw the issue I was having, I was like, well, duh, you can't do it like that because it's going to make it teeter on it. So I modified them a little bit. New thing I got is some chocks for the tires, because this truck does not have air brakes, so you can't lock the brakes. You can do the emergency brake, but it doesn't really lock them like I want to. If it had air brakes, I wouldn't have no issue. Pull the air brakes, the truck's not gonna budge. But what happens is when I'm loading up the cars, they don't weigh very much, but when you start up the ramps, the truck starts to jog back and forth. With the transmission, being in park, it has a little bit of slack there, and I don't like that. So I've got those blocks or chocks to stop that from happening. This is what I changed. So I pull this out in one hand. This is what I changed. I had this piece right here welded on right there, and that was pretty much center of that piece. So it actually let, when I would start to get up on the ramp closest to the truck, it would start to teeter a little bit, and it would actually pick up the rear ramp off the ground. And then when I got the back tire to that, then the back tire would hit against it. Sometimes it would just push it down and going up. Sometimes it would hang up. So moving that puts all the weight on the end of the first ramp. You got the ramp hooked into the truck, and then it would support that ramp out here. So it made that first ramp almost like hooking up to the truck for the second ramp, if that makes sense. Took all the little teeter out of it, took all the shakiness out of it, fixed all that. So if you do this kind of setup, just remember that. Make your support the first ramp, and then lock your second ramp into it, and it takes all of that slack out of it. So yeah, that's what I'm working on now. I've got the wire, I got my lights all hooked up. I have an issue with the, you see I have my cable that runs these rear lights. I have them actually plugged into the trailer plug, because if I ever want to take this off, I don't want to have it hardwire in and have to cut wires. I can just unplug it. I have this box here, junction box. Off this junction box, I'm going to put my actual trailer wiring connector. I have it already. I'm going to mount that there. Still have to build my other, I'm going to build 2 more of these triangle shaped pieces, and they're going to, one be on either side of that center light there, and it's going to actually drop down. The top of it's going to be even with the bottom edge of this one, so that when it's fastened to the back of the truck, they will end up coming below this bumper here, below this part. So that'll drop my hitch down even with where the hitch is up there, and that'll help support all that weight. So I'm waiting on some flat bar. I went to get it the other day, the 3/8 flat bar, and they were out. So I'm waiting on that to come in so I can build my other 2 brackets, and that'll be the next step, so I can still be able to pull the trailer. I skirted the sides, makes it look a little more finished and professional. I'm going to finish up some more screws. I've got just, at the top of them, just to put it on there, see if I like it. I got to put some screws at the bottom of it. That'll finish that up. Get this other side cut off. But if you look from this side, you can see that angle, come down that angle, it matches the angle of the ramps. Makes it look more like a ramp truck instead of a flatbed with a dovetail on it. I just think it looks better. Now, if it didn't have this skirting around, and I've been back and forth about cutting that all the way off. If it didn't have that skirting around there, I don't think it would it wouldn't bother me as bad. But since it does, I'm cutting that off, and I'll try to get it pulled out to where you can see exactly what, compare the 2 sides where I can step back from it. It's just too big of a vehicle to be up in the shop, and I don't have, well, you see I got all this stuff. I got a bunch of stuff. Now, I'm not going to say I got a bunch of junk, because I have a bunch of valuable items to me. Things that I use. It looks like a mess, and it is a mess. But when you have so much stuff that you use, it's easy to get disorganized. But anyway, that's the little update. Also, I'm going to be adding, let's see, what did I do with it? This right here. I'm going to be adding this pole. Now, I had to order some more pieces, but I'm going to make these poles on the trailer also, on the back bumper of it. And I have the little lights just like that red one there. I'm going to have one up on the top of this pole, and that helps me see from way up there. I have to almost lean out the window to see this bottom corner here, and it's hard to tell where the actual end of the truck is. So with these, I've got some elbows. I'm not going to mount this to the top like that. I'm going to actually mount that flange right like that, and then it's going to elbow up, and that piece is going to be a little more protected by the bumper, but it's still going to have the light on the top of it, and that'll help me see it at night and in the daytime. I'll be able to see that pole. I've already got in the truck and set it back here, and I can see a lot better. Helps actually define where the end of the bumper is on the side too. When I start to go up the ramp, it helps me to see without leaning my head out of the side of the car trying to see where everything is. But anyway, that's one of the next things. other than the braces, and that's all that's going to be for us to help support this, where the hitch is going to be out here, help support all that so I can still pull the trailer. Trailer's not real heavy, you know, but you put the cars on there, it gets a little heavier. It don't have a tremendous amount of tongue weight, but I want to make sure that I don't have an issue with it. And I believe once I tie all that in together, and then once I put those in there, then I'm going to do almost like some X bracing from these corners over, you know, X bracing in there just to get that side to side out of it. I don't think there's any there, but just a precaution, just to help strengthen everything. I've learned over the years to do a little overkill. It's better to put too much strength into something and then not enough, and then you have problems. But anyway, I'll get another maybe drop some pictures in of this once it's out in the open to where you can see it. It's a little different angle. I thought it was going to be the same angle as where this is here. This is made. It's a little different angle than that, but that's too sharp of an angle for the ramp of the dovetail. So that's going to probably bother me a little bit that I have two angles that are different side by side like that. So I don't know exactly what I'm going to do there to make that match, but maybe I'll just grind this to where it don't have the diamonds on it, so it's not as noticeable. Just make it from there down, grind those off, and I don't think it would bother me as much. But anyway, that's just cosmetic stuff. But anyway, that's a little update for you guys. See you on the next one.